Hello students, welcome back. Today we are going to learn the fifth topic, which is a poem from English Literature textbook class 7th DAV board. I Dream a World is a beautiful poem written by Langston Hughes. The dreams that we have at night are the ones of all the incidents or occurrences that are saved in our subconscious mind, which our conscious mind didn't observe. We also daydream, which means sometimes we are so much lost in our thoughts that we are mentally very far off from the reality, or sometimes our mind is completely blank. Dream also is the goal, aim, or ambition of our life. But in this poem, dream means a long held wish or ambition. Let us know something more about Langston Hughes, the poet of this poem. Langston Hughes was born in Joplin, Missouri. He was the great great grandson of Charles Henry Langston. He began writing poetry in the 8th grade. His first published poem, The Negro Speaks of Rivers, was also one of his most famous poems, appearing in Brownie Book. Langston Hughes was a prolific writer. In the 40 odd years between his first book in 1926 and his death in 1967, he devoted his life to writing and lecturing. He wrote 16 books of poetry, 2 novels, 7 collection of short stories, 2 autobiographies, 4 non-fiction works, 10 books for children, more than 25 plays, musicals and operas. Langston Hughes died of cancer on 22nd May 1967. We are going to understand the poem stanza-wise. The first stanza. I dream a world where man no other will scorn, where love will bless the earth and peace its path adorn. In this stanza, scorn means contempt or hate. Adorn means to decorate. If you remember, the word adorn had been used in the lesson Monkey Trouble. Look at the rhyming scheme here. I dream a world where man no other will scorn. So man and scorn rhyme together. Where love will bless the earth, this doesn't rhyme. Whereas and peace its path adorn. So what do we see? Man, scorn and adorn rhyme together. So we can give them the rhyme scheme as A, B, A. Let us see the explanation of the stanza. The first stanza says the poet is visualizing a world where no one should hate the other. He wants that eternal love should bless the world and everlasting peace should make its path beautiful. Let us come to the second stanza. I dream a world where all will know sweet freedom's way, where greed no longer saps the soul, nor avarice blights our day. Here, saps the soul means weakens. Avarice means greed. Blights means spoils or destroys. Let us now see the explanation of the stanza. The poet wishes for a world where all should enjoy freedom of thought, speech and action. It should be a world without avarice, that is hatred, because avarice weakens the power of the soul. It should be a world free from lust. Lust means greed for wealth, which brings misery. Misery means sadness in its trails. Trails means path, and fills the life with tension and worry. Stanza 3. A world I dream where black or white, whatever race you be, will share the bounties of the earth, and every man is free. Here, bounties means gifts. The explanation to stanza 3. The poet dreams of a prosperous world where bounties, that is, generous gifts of nature, are enjoyed by one and all without distinction of color and creed. Here, all should taste full freedom. Stanza 4. Where wretchedness will hang its head. Wretchedness means unhappiness, and joy like a pearl attain the needs of all mankind. Of such I dream our world. Hang its head means destroyed. Explanation to stanza 4. The poet envisages, what does envisages mean? Foresee a world where suffering and wretchedness do not exist, and everyone's life is precious and smooth. For such a heavenly world the poet dreams of. Let us see the different figures of speech that are there in this poem. First of all, I have already made a separate video on figures of speech. Please do refer to it as well. What is a simile? When a direct comparison is made between two objects of same kinds which has at least one point in common is called simile. We use as, like, and so to make a simile. In this poem, the simile uses and joy like a pearl. Here, joy is directly compared to a pearl. The way it is difficult for a diver to acquire or obtain a small pearl from the depths of the ocean, similarly, it is not so easy to get joy. The next figure of speech used is personification. Let us see the definition of personification. When inanimate objects or abstract ideas are spoken of as having life, it becomes personification. There are 4 sentences which are personification. They are: love will bless the earth, peace its path adorn, wretchedness will hang its head, where greed no longer saps the soul. Here, love, peace, wretchedness, and greed have been given human qualities. Here, love is blessing the earth. Peace is decorating its path, means there is peace everywhere. Wretchedness is put to death by hanging its head, and greed has been given the capacity to weaken the soul. The third figure of speech is alliteration, which I told you is also a tongue twister. When similar sound or repetition of similar letters, consonants are used to produce poetic effect, it is called alliteration. Example is: and peace its path adorn, world where all will know, a world I dream where black or white. Can you see the highlighted letters? They are all alliteration. What message does the poet want to give us? The message is: the poem gives the message of love, prosperity, equality, and fraternity. The generous gifts of nature, so bountifully given to mankind, should be shared equally by one and all, without distinction of color and creed, so that the world becomes a better place to live in, more prosperous and enjoyable. Let us see the theme of the poem. The poem is built around the theme of love, equality, and fraternity. The underlying idea is that negatives like avarice and hatred, inequality, and racialism should be eliminated. Eliminated means removed from the world, so that it becomes a better place to live in, more peaceful and enjoyable. Peace, love, equality, and fraternity should reign. Reign means rule here. This is one of Langston Hughes' poem. This poem is on Helen Keller. It's a beautiful poem indeed. The poem is: she, in the dark, found light. brighter than many ever see. She, within herself, found loveliness through the soul's own mastery. And now the world receives from her doors the message of the strength of inner power.